It'll be a tough game against Vanderbilt as always is. I'd like to mention it's a Play for K game, and our Coaches Association and ESPN's really gotten behind the K Yao Foundation, and Coach Yao was someone that was a big influence on me and early in my career, very kind to me. And one thing that I did ask her before she passed, what could we do? And that was, she just said, all the young coaches coming up really need to make sure that we keep the spotlight on the issue of breast cancer and really try to help raise money for research. So that was a passion of hers, and she's impacted millions of people. So it's a Play for K game, and we'll need to go out and play real hard. Vanderbilt's a very tough team, very dynamic on offense, as they always have been, very tough to guard, and they are always a difficult team to go against with their defense. They really guard the ball well and make you make great decisions. So it'll be a tough game on the road for us, and we'll need to prepare well over the next couple of days to have a chance to win.
Coach, you guys were ahead most of the game against Georgia and then kind of gave it away there at the end, but pretty much the opposite happened last night. What was the biggest difference between those two games?
Well, we ended up with 5 players on the floor at the end of the game last night that just wanted to win and just refused to do anything but earn a victory. And I just thought we were a lot tougher last night than we were on Sunday afternoon, and we overcame a tremendous amount of adversity last night and just stayed the course. And we were able to make some shots and finally get some stops against Arkansas, and the opposite was true on Sunday. So really proud of the effort last night. It was a great victory.
Much of it is about learning, for the team learning how to play. Is you and I talked about this a little bit in the preseason, the hunted versus the hunter.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it seems like Cal always talks about being everybody's Super Bowl, and you guys have kind of gotten a hit of that this season.
I was very skeptical about that because I'd never been through it, and I sort of didn't have a lot of, I don't know if respect's the right word, but I just didn't really believe that. And it is amazing to be a part of this right now, because you put on video of these teams and you watch them and you prepare for them, and this is the 4th or 5th game this year in the league where it's the game before, then the Kentucky game, then the game after. The 2 games before and after look pretty similar, and the Kentucky game looks very different. And so people can think I'm crazy. I thought people were crazy for talking about that, but I'm a believer now. It is unbelievable what our players are going through right now as far as what they're facing game after game from an effort level and an execution level. I'm just telling you now, Arkansas's 3-7 in the league, and have played real tough games against opponents, but they were unbelievable last night from an execution standpoint. They were so sharp. They made shot after shot that you put the tape on and you didn't see them making. And so it was an absolute battle last night, and we embraced it last night. We just played as hard as we could down the stretch after we were able to withstand that really poor play early, and we were terrific. And I just think that's what we need to get used to. And it's probably something we're going to see the rest of the season. But it's great for our players to understand that you're going to get the best shot from another team. I think it's a great level of respect that these players have earned by playing so hard and establishing identity of being a good team. So it's interesting.
Is there a way to mentally or physically prepare them for that every game?
Well, I tell you what I tried to do this last week. I tried to make it a lot tougher. I tried to go back to, I just kicking myself. Now, you don't ever know. It's inexact science, but I'd use the bye week to try to let them catch their breath and try to rejuvenate and all that stuff. And we played like a really talented team on Sunday, but a soft team when it got tough, and Georgia just wouldn't go away and smacked us there at the end. We wilted. And so I don't know if it had anything to do with it, but this past week we went back to how we used to practice when we were desperate for victories, and you know, we went twice, Tuesday and Wednesday, and you know, still had enough in the tank to get an overtime victory on the road. So I think maybe for us to understand the effort level it's going to take, I may just have to force that in practice. And so who knows if that had any of the two approaches had any effect on it, I don't know. But I do think we have to have more of an edge in practice, because it appears that teams are showing up with a real edge when we take the floor.
What do you do with Bria at this point? Because she's kind of in a lull for a while. You put her on the bench, she plays out of her mind. And I mean, do you put her back in the starting lineup? Do you keep her on the bench? Do you thought about that?
Well, I've thought about it, and that dynamic to me is not of huge concern of whether she plays off the bench or starting. For her, last night was just an effort to change the dynamic, because she is one of the kids on our team right now that is the epitome of what we want a Kentucky basketball player to be. She is of the highest character. She is of the greatest work ethic. She cares about people. She cares about this program, cares about Kentucky and winning. And so there's nothing wrong with her other than her she wouldn't get out of her way. So I was just trying to change the dynamic. I was not mad or angry or upset with her. I was just trying to help her any way that I could. And so that'll be the approach. If that's starting or coming off the bench, I don't know that either one of those is hugely important. Last night, she got back to the things that make her successful, and she had not been doing that beforehand. So I'm real proud of her, but I don't know what I'm going to do with that situation yet.
Is it frustrating when you see a kid like Bria who's working her, behind out doing everything you want her to do, and then she goes through these kind of offensive lulls this season? I mean, is it frustrating as a coach to watch that at her?
Well, it's frustrating as a coach for the player, because you know how much she cares. And so that's frustrating just for her personally. It's very frustrating for our team, because the reason you think we are capable of making a Final Four, of being a championship caliber team, you include Bria Goss playing well in that formula, okay? And so you really need her to play well, and she hasn't played that well offensively, and then it finally started affecting her defense, and so it's frustrating for the team too, because you're not who you know you can be. And so, but I'm sure every team goes through that. I think it's a long season. Everybody goes through those things, and it is a level of frustration, but it really makes a night like last night very rewarding to see the kid hang in there and get rewarded with some good play and a very crucial victory.
Was there a message you wanted to send after the Georgia game, or was it just a matter of increasing the level of intensity in practice?
Yeah, I think you send a message every day that you take the practice floor. You need to be sending a message to the team, and the message was, we just have to be a lot tougher. We've never been a team that was sort of nonchalant and just kind of hoped you win. We always had this desperation that we had to play so hard to win, and I think that's a good thing. So, I just wanted to let them know that look, if we're not going to play real hard, it's not going to be a real comfortable situation for anyone, because we're not going to get to where we want to go. And to this group's credit, I'm telling you, our 6 a.m. practice Tuesday morning was fantastic. So we have a really, really great group of kids. We really do. And the 2 games that we've lost in the conference were the top 15 teams that beat us by 5 points and 4 points. So, I mean, it's not – we haven't played poorly. But I just wanted to make sure that we are playing as hard as we can, and understand that appears to be what's going to happen to you these last few games where we take the floor in the conference. You have to be ready for a really, really strong test.
Matthew, you do 6 a.m. all the time, or is this new?
Well, we generally do that in preseason. So, yeah, no, we don't do that a lot in season. We haven't done that in season much.
Social comment about how they played, so you kind of made a little adjustment.
Yeah, just trying to, shake it up a little bit, make sure we were in tune.
Coach, I know you're typically a one game at a time type of coach, but when you go and 5 of your last 7 games are on the road, is there any different approach you take towards a team?
No, we're really not talking about venues right now or locations or that. There's absolutely zero control over the schedule. It's a real tough row to hoe, but that's what the people in Birmingham decided that we were going to do. A computer picks that by random. It just comes out randomly. So you don't have any control over the computer. If I had better computer programming skills and could hack into the system, I would have changed it. But it's just not one of my areas of expertise. I have very few of those. So,
do you try to get a computer science major like on the roster?
It's possible. That is. We have outstanding computer science students here. We could maybe hack into the system. I probably shouldn't say it publicly, though. That's a mistake. I've already made a mistake there. But there's, I don't know if anybody else that is in the hunt for the championship has to play 4 out of the last 6. That's what we're left with here. I don't know any of those things. I don't look at those things, but it is. There's no use in us talking about it. What's more important right now is that it appears that teams are coming after us with reckless abandon, and we need to be ready for that. Sunday afternoon in Nashville, we need to be ready for Vanderbilt's absolute supreme maximum effort, and that's what we're focused on now, not where we're playing.
Jennifer O'Neill had kind of a tough game on Sunday, and she took the loss pretty personally there in the press conference. How do you think she responded last night?
She didn't respond well last night. It wasn't a good response for her last night, but she and I met this morning, and she's going to respond better. And listen, she's come so far as a person and as a player here that this is a real difficult league to play in. I don't know. I don't listen to it a whole lot, but it seems to me that people don't think that the league's as strong as it used to be or something. That's the most insane thing I've ever heard in my life. This is an unbelievably difficult league. It is the toughest league in the country, night in and night out. We are right there at the top of the league and top of the rankings in the country, and we went on the road to a team that's 3-7 in our league and had to battle to win last night. You're going to have some tough games because it's so difficult. We wouldn't be where we are now without Jennifer's play. So Jennifer's going to be fine. Jennifer wants to play and wants to help her team win. So she didn't have a good game last night, but I would expect she's going to have a real good one on Sunday.
What is it about Adia at the end of games when they're close like that? Is it something in her personality? Is it she just seems to kind of make a big shot when it's needed, and it seemed to happen last night too.
Yeah, it's just the willingness to accept that role and not shy away from it. And last night was particularly exceptional because a lot of people that missed 9 of their first 11 would just say, hey, it's not my night. And she made 4 of her last 6, and they were unbelievable shots, plays. When everybody on the Arkansas team was trying to prevent her from scoring, she found a way. And she's just a great player. She's the best player in this league, and she showed it last night. You just have to understand that everybody is geared up to stop her. You knew who was going to get the ball at that point in time. They weren't able to do it. So she's a great player.
Now, the 6 a.m. practices every day, how often are they?
Well, we just had them this past week. I don't know where we'll be. It'll just, I don't know if that'll continue or not. But we didn't have one this morning because that would have given them about 3 hours of sleep. We got in about 2 in the morning. So we're going to go at 7 p.m. tonight. So it doesn't really matter when we practice. It matters more how they practice. And, if we continue to get good results with that, we'll do whatever we need to do to try to give our players a chance to win, because we have an outstanding team and they deserve every ounce of energy we can give them as coaches to try to be the very best we can be this year. This is an outstanding group of young women, and I'm real lucky to get to coach them.